So yesterday we saw the first bit of panic selling we've seen since the beginning of FC25. So in today's video we're going to be going through that and everything else that has come out in the last 24 hours. And if you guys are interested, we do have a free trading guide all the way till the 1st of October. This has got all my investments in it, it's got all the data used for trading. So I do recommend checking it out. It's all free, no gimmicks, free to the 1st of October. So in today's video, basically, we are going to walk through mainly the market crash that occurred in the last 24 hours, because it's the first one that has occurred since FC25. And again, we've got loads and loads of content. We've got, I think, pre-team of the week to talk through. We've got about the objectives. We've got about the SBCs. We're going to talk about the Evos. We're going to talk about leaks and so on and so on. But as always, let's go and start off by talking about the SBCs that came out. Because there were two SBCs and then a bit of objectives as well, linked to the SBCs, and they actually decided to put the player SBCs in the SBC selection. So it makes a nice change. And the SBC we got was Fran Navarro. Now EA did say we're going to get ourselves loads of Spanish, loads of La Liga. This is interesting enough, obviously a Spanish player, and then he is linked into some of the Liga Portuguesa cards. Also, you may see, by the way, over 1 million. Now, at the moment, we're on about 1.6 million coins, which is pretty decent. I think that's about 1.6 million coins in about 4 days. So we will take it. But yeah, Fran Navarro doesn't come out with a very desirable card. Now he does get double league links because of his because of this card type. It has better basically chemistry. But yeah, I mean he's 3-star skills, 3-star weak foot. I basically have him as like a worse, less linkable Danjuma. You know, Danjuma's card's pretty decent, but yeah, I have him worse and less linkable. I've also realised that in my webcam I am looking very orange/yellow. And I think it's because I'm wearing a yellow kit. I've not had this problem since the beginning of FIFA, but I've just seen that you'll be watching basically Simpson edition in today's video. So the playstyles, yeah, again, he's got himself some decent shooting playstyles. He's got himself some decent dribbling playstyles. And roles, he's got himself, what, 1 role plus. But yeah, I'll be honest with you, he doesn't convince me being too OP. Now, I'll be honest with you, I do think that the objective players are, you know, coming in at literally free, probably better players. Now we do have ourselves Orson. Now Orson had legendary cards last year. This guy had a first in form that would consistently go extinct because people would always put him into an Evo. But yeah, the problem is this year is he would make a not bad centre mid, but because of how roles work this year, if you go and move him to centre mid in game, he just won't play very well because he'll only play well in the the roles you have, the roles his like card can fit into. And all the role pluses are fullbacks. And an 82 fullback, I feel like you're going to get really, really burnt. Because at this stage of FIFA, there's a lack of 90 stats. But I tell you where there's a lot of 90 stats, always in pace. So I feel like, yeah, he's going to get absolutely burnt in right back. What I would say is, if there's like a very central left mid position, I think maybe he could play well there. Basically, as close to a centre mid as you can get, whilst him also having a left mid. So I'm not quite sure what that would be. That'd obviously be in a position where there's probably maybe a 3-5-2, but even a 3-5-2 in a way they're kind of playing as a fullback. So yeah, pretty awkward card there. Again, to go and unlock these, you've got to go and score 3 goals with Liga Portuguese players. That's very easy. Score 10 goals. That's very, very easy right there. In 1 match. Yeah, these are really easy. Play 10 matches was having a minimum of 4 Liga Portuguese. That's not so fun. And then win 4 matches. Was having 4 Liga Portuguese, so not too difficult whatsoever, but is it really worth it? Now again, we've got this guy as well, but I kind of loaded up, who did I load up? Oh yeah, I loaded up Goncalo Inacio, and these 2 cards are basically the exact same. Like Eduardo Quaresma he has 1 less pace, he's got 2 more defending, and he's got 1 more physical than a gold 850 coin card. So I mean, just tells you there about the sort of demand. Obviously, it's quite nice because he does go and link to Gokares, who is favoured to get a team of the week, but we'll be covering that a little bit later down the line. So, yeah, he does go and get himself a link with Gokares, does go and get himself a link with Inform Trincao, but I'll be honest with you, all of these Liga NOS cards, yeah, they're not really looking too good whatsoever. What was pretty good yesterday regarding SBCs was another generic SBC, so keep an eye out for these because there is really good money on these every day. Make sure to join my stream at 6 PM every day because I tell you exactly what to go and buy for these. So this SBC came out and I had a little look at it and I thought, do you know what, 25 chemistry, that's pretty high. And then I saw this other requirement and it's just below the webpage, it's maximum 3 clubs, and always when they go maximum 3 clubs, people build these squads in the top 5 leagues. So the Premier League, the Liga, the Serie A, the Bundesliga, and the Liga. And I thought, well, maximum 3 clubs with minimum 5 rares. I thought, do you know what's going to do well? Rare bronze and silvers. Because people are going to either be under the presumption that rare bronze and silvers are going to be cheaper than golds, or what they're going to do is they're going to end up picking clubs like Chelsea or Liverpool or Man City, and then they're going to realise there are no cheap rare golds, so the only way of doing it is with rare bronze and silvers. So this came out, and within a minute or two I said, alright chat, top 5 leagues, buy rare bronzes, a few hundred coins more than what they're going for on the market. And I personally went out and bought myself a bunch of rare bronze Prem keepers for about, again, 700 coins, and they went up to about 2.5k, because people were, and they're from like Liverpool, and I think another one was for Leicester. And this is because Liverpool have a lack of cheap rare golds, so people went and bought these bronzes at 2.5k. So obviously, subjective to all the requirements depends what does well for these. But again, I'd either recommend join the streams or make sure to look at these. Make sure to look at these at 6 PM because there is good money on it. You just got to be a bit aware. Now, the next thing we are going to be moving on to is going to be the evolution. Now, they dropped a pretty nice evolution, but weirdly enough, they dropped the second Centimid evolution like 2 days in a row. Obviously, yesterday they dropped the box-to-box. Today they've dropped the octopus. Now, I'm not going to lie, they really undersold me this Evo. This came out and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to lie, like, if this is the front player they've used, in terms of, like, this player is, normally what they do is the front player they use here, so, like, in this case, it's going to be Alejandro. Normally, these are, like, the best cards you can use, and I thought, if that's the one, if these stats are the best cards you can use, it's trash. It's a 50k Evo. But sadly, there were actually a fair few better players. If we can go and load up the likes of Footbin, I'm going to show you some of the better players. You've got like Gravenberch, you've got Benacer, you've got Thuram, you've got Bissouma. Who else fit this? Minot fit this. I think Zongi Emery, I think might have fit this, or he fit yesterday's at least. So yeah, there's a fair few that fit it. The nice thing as well, there's a fair few players that fit the a combo. So for example, here you go. These are the ones that fit a combo. So Manu fit a combo. Renato Sanchez fit a combo of both. I'd want to say Enzo Fernandez might fit a combo of both, but there are a fair few players who fit a combo of both. And because there are players who fit a fair few, like fit the combo, there was a decent bit in demand. So we had someone like Minot who went from. Can we find him? No. We went for Minot who went from about. I don't think Footbin's prices at the moment are pretty abysmal. Oh, there you go. He went from 700 coins up there to 5k and back down there to 3k. And since he's gone up there to 3.3k, and they'll probably keep rising through the week as long as he doesn't get supplied via some sort of tradable generic SBC. So there were a lot of cams that kind of pump and dumped, but then they ended up being a price higher than they were previously. Bissouma being another example right here. If we go and look at Owley, we see it was 700 coins, went up there to 4.8k, crashed down there to 1.5, but since has rebounded to 2.4k, so not too bad right there. Gravenberch, again, we head over here. Before the Evo came out, it was 700 coins, then got up to 3.2k, then got down there to 1.5k. So what this kind of tells me is, in the future, if there are a bunch of, like, if someone fits the Evo, and even if I don't think it's that demanded, if they are near discard, just like how Minot was 700 coins, just like how Gravenberch was 700 coins as well, I think there's definitely more incentive of buying the players. The only problem is that I had was I was like, well, I'm not going to go and buy stuff for this. Let me go and look at the advanced SBCs. Generic SBC. So, in the end of the day, we actually made pretty decent money off the generic SBC, so we didn't miss out too much by not buying the Evo players. But it is interesting that, again, despite it not looking too amazing, at least on paper here, that players did pretty well. Now, what is interesting is because we've had 2 Centimid Evos in a row, it was interesting just to see how did Centimids react, because of course every time you get an Evo in a certain position, it normally replaces players in their teams. So for example, if people have Tonali and they can go and Evo a Manu to as good of him for cheaper, then what sometimes happens is Tonali gets sold. And we did see this happen a little bit, right? So this is pre 6 PM, Tonali was rebounding from a market crash, which we'll cover in a second. And he went, after the Evo came out, he basically went from about 70k down there to 67. So nothing crazy, literally went down like 5%. Since though he has rebounded to 70, but all we can see is that, sentiments were slightly affected. Same thing here with Llorente. He rebounded from the market crash in the morning where he was about 19, rebounded to 20, went down to 18k, but since then has rebounded there to 20. And is that what we have? That is what we have regarding the Evo players. So, yeah, they dropped a few of the sentiments that did rebound, and obviously the players that were needed did go up. Sometimes if an Evo is really demanded, it can actually crash everyone no matter the price, because because people are selling stuff in their club to go and buy it. So that is that. I guess whilst we're on the topic of Evos, I showed you earlier that we had a Darwin Núñez in the Evo. I did actually play my first game yesterday, and I do plan on playing a little bit of Rivals today, now that I've got around to building my my starter squad. But this is what my starter squad is looking like. I got Neuer untradeable, Tara untradeable, obviously I got very lucky with my Hazard. And then the only players I think we went out and bought was Bront and Bailly. I couldn't bring myself to really buying overly expensive players because obviously I kind of need my coins for trading. But yeah, that's the starter squad we have running at the moment, and we are planning Evo and Darwin Núñez. Kind of wanted to keep my Evos in the Prem. I thought, well, obviously Hazard is going to be my team probably till like, I don't know, February, March, because of course I'll get a better version of Hazard in November. So I thought, well, I might as well try and keep the team quite Prem related, and chat was singing the praises of Darwin Núñez. So yeah, we have gone with Darwinzy Núñez. That's just a little update on what the team is like. And as I say, I did play Rush yesterday, and Rush was really fun. It just seemed a little bit long. Like, Rush was only like 4 or 5 minutes to be great, but someone said apparently they have to have a Rush being that long so you can't abuse it for objectives, which is fair. But yeah, played a little bit of Rush yesterday, and I plan on playing a bit of Division Rivals, first bit of gameplay this year. So any advice, do make sure to join the stream. And yeah, I still need to sort out all the player roles. Still something I haven't fully got my head around. So now what we're going to talk about is yesterday's market crash. Because the market was not anticipated to crash yesterday because we got rewards. And normally what happens when you get rewards is people pack a bunch of plebby stuff, use those coins they get from the plebby stuff to buy good stuff, and good stuff rises. Well, across the whole board yesterday, the market dropped. So we're looking from drops basically about 8 a.m. So we can see Konate dropped. We can see that Rashford, again, he did drop. He was a little bit more expensive previously. We can see that Van der Ven did drop because he was up at 55. We can see that Griezmann drops here. And literally across the whole board, I mean, what can we grab right there? We also, players like Rafael Leao dropped. Players like Hansen dropped. And you may say, well, Dan, that's because people got squad battle rewards. You know, surely that's relevant. Well, yes, squad battle rewards can supply the market initially. You can normally have a drop of anywhere from about half an hour, maybe through to an hour. But a lot of these players dropped all the way from 8 a.m. all the way through to generally about midday, maybe even 1 p.m. So they dropped for about 5-6 hours, which is way, way longer than what we normally see on these market crashes. And whilst the market was dropping, people were like, Dan, is the market actually going to rebound? You know, like, have we hit the high point and now we're just going to see it drop and drop and drop? And there were so many reasons why the market shouldn't have dropped, and why the market, again, you can see the Griezmann has rebounded and rebounded to higher prices. But why should the market not have dropped yesterday? Well, the market shouldn't have dropped because it didn't drop with squad battle rewards. Last year, it rose with squad battle rewards. Second thing is rewards don't traditionally drop the market. Rewards traditionally supply cheap players. People use the coins from the cheap players to buy expensive players. So if the market does drop anything from rewards, it's normally your cheap 5, 10, 15, 20, maybe 30k a little bit. But it wasn't, you know, again, we had Leao who was 370k drop. We had Hansen who was 1 million coins drop. We had, again, Griezmann 100k drop. And these just weren't normal trends. Because normally what again happens is people aren't packing as many Griezmanns that were demanded. Another reason the market shouldn't really have dropped yesterday is that it's just way too early. We're still in the first few days of the game. Even last year when the market peaked early, the market still rose for 5 days before it dropped. Whereas I think yesterday would have been the market rising for 3 days, so it would have been so early going off of last year. And again, yeah, there was no split. There should have been a split if the market was going to drop. You know, without there being panic selling, there should have been a split, and that split should have been 20k and below goes down because it's packed more than it's demanded, and then 30k and above rises because it's demanded more than it's packed. But again, that didn't happen. Well, what did initially happen? That's what happened initially. What actually did end up happening is the market did rebound. So again, we just got someone like here. Tonali went from 72k down there to 67k and up there to 71k. Now, of course, his rebound is going to be definitely hindered by back-to-back centre-mid Evos. But we can see that again. They should never have dropped. He rebound right there. Even stuff like... Do I have Konate up here? Even stuff like Konate rebounded. Let's go and grab him right there. Konate. And Konate, I would dub, is quite a cheap card. So we can see would have been around about 20k. Went down there to 16k. And rebounded closer there to 18k. And again, should rebound more today. We'll go through something cheap like Marcus Llorente. Did go and drop in the morning. But since then is back up there to 20k. We then have the likes of there's Konate. We then got the likes of Rashford again. Rashford got nice and cheap in the morning at 30, but even just that day, he then rebounded up to 35, back down to 32, but again is expected to hold/rise. Van der Ven was a crazy one. Van der Ven was about 55k, then he crashed down to about 46k, and he's already rebounded up to 58k. Again, just showing more people are demanding Van der Ven than were packing Van der Ven. And finally, Griezmann. Griezmann again dropped down to 113k, but since then has rebounded to 125. So a lot of time when people ask me, should I buy and sell my cards? You know, I say, oh well, the market should rise to the 26th unless it stagnates for a day, and then it's expected to drop after it's stagnating. And I would say for a fair few players on the market, I think the last 24 hours to the 24 hours prior to that actually might have been a bit of a stagnant, but I don't think this is where the market drops. Even though I guess it slightly follows last year's trends, I'd say if the market doesn't rise in the next 24 hours compared to the last 24 hours, I would say that I would sell stuff because I think the market's peaks. Because again, a few people have also said, oh Dan, last year the market peaked on the Monday, Tuesday. But personally, I don't like going off that trend. I don't like going off with them peaking on a specific day unless there's something tied to that day. If there are like division rivals tied to that day, if it was like the start of Foot Champs, if it was a day of a promo, then I'd say, do you know what, fair enough, sell stuff on a Thursday, division rivals drops the market. Okay, sell stuff on the Friday, the promo drops the market. Sell stuff on a Monday, sell stuff on a Sunday, that's when an Icon SBC comes out. But because there was nothing attached to the Monday, Tuesday, there was no reason to say, well, this year we should also go and sell stuff on Monday, Tuesday. For me, because the market, what it did last year is it rose and rose and rose, stagnated for like a day or two, then dropped, I would again sell stuff when it stagnates. And again, it might have stagnated slightly yesterday, but I wouldn't really want to go for that because I would put that just down to a bit of panic selling rather than the market stop rising. On top of that, the market literally right now is more than it was yesterday. So again, I think we're still rising. I think just yesterday would have, the rise would have been quite slow. So just a heads up on what I think is going to go and happen to all different sorts of markets. So cards that are 10k and below should be slowly dropping between now and the 26th. I also think they'll be negatively affected by division rival awards on Thursday. Then we got cards that are about 10 to 20k. I think these should slowly drop to the 26th. Unless the players are used for Evos. If players are 20k and below and used for Evos, they can rise to the 26th, going off of last year's trends. We then have cards that are about 20 to 30k. If I can go and find, there we go, grab Lorente. Cards 20 to 30k, these cards are favourite to rebound slightly between now and the 26th. We then got cards that are around about 30, well, then you have cards who are 30 to 40k. Cards who are 30, 40k, they're also favourite to rebound, but a bit faster between now and the 26th. Then we got 40 to 80k cards. These are the best value for money investments to go for. These are favourite to rise the highest percentage between now and the 26th. We then have cards that 80k and above. These are also favourite to rise between now and the 26th, but the further they're away from 80k, the lower the percentage rise we're expected to see. Regarding investments, fodder is, you can invest in fodder because fodder should rise till Tuesday. You can invest in pre-team of the weeks. Pre-team of the week should rise between now and Tuesday. You can invest in the current team of the week, so they should rise between now and Tuesday. Current players who are favoured to get out packs for team weeks aren't necessarily going to rise out packs. In fact, not many of the players who went out of packs for the first promo of last year's FIFA actually rose out packs due to overinvestment. Other investments that are good, again, gold cards 40 to 80k. Any gold card from the La Liga 30k and above is also a nice investment. And I think that wraps up the sort of decent investments we can go through. A lot of people are asking me about cards like Bellingham. Now, I think, these aren't bad, but I wouldn't want to high portion my coins in Bellinghams, Salibas, Fodens, Inaki Williamses, and that's because obviously you have to wait for them to have a price range update to make coins, which means if EA only update these guys' price ranges when the market is crashing, I can't guarantee that you'll actually make any profit. Whereas if you bought someone who didn't have a scuff price range, you could obviously go and sell them when we know that the market's going to go and crash, and you'd be able to make profit. But if we know that the market's crashing or the market is actively crashing and you can't even sell your Bellingham, then you've never been able to make any coins on the Bellingham, even though in theory you could have made coins if they increase his price range. So I think having like 30-40% of your coins in a mixture, don't just buy one, in a mixture of extinct players can work pretty well, but I wouldn't want to high portion my coins because you can't guarantee any profit until EA increases price ranges. When is EA going to increase price ranges? It's completely random. They literally have just sporadically increased price, like 1 or 2 player price ranges here and there. I don't think we've had any for the last 48 hours. Likewise with decreasing price ranges, it's the exact same thing. And I think that wraps up what's been going on with the market. So let's talk about how we've been able to make the most of the market. We've been doing 2 trading methods. We've been doing icon trading and we've been doing shadow trading. There's a bunch of icons we sold on, and all of these gold cards did sell on with shadow. It's just when you do go and sell a gold card with shadow, it does go and remove the chem stuff. And there's the rest of my traps list. Lots and lots of gold cards with shadow. Now previously we did go and release a video about how to shadow trade, but there are loads more gold cards on the market with shadow, so we are going to go and adapt the method. Previously, I would just go gold rare, and then I'd go for shadow, and then I'd go maximum buy now 20k, and I'd just go and scroll to the 59th minute. If you do that now, you've got to scroll about 250 pages, and sometimes it glitches out and won't even let you scroll to the 59th minute. So what you need to do is you need to make your sniping filter more acute. You basically, again, need to make it so less cards pop up. So what we're going to do is we are just going to go through positions one by one. We're going to go right back, we're going to go left back, we're going to go CDM, and we're going to go centre mid. They might say, but Dan, centre back is the most popular position for shadow trading. And you're not wrong, but the amount of centre backs that have had shadow applied to them already in the first 24 hours or 48 hours is insane. And because so many players have had shadow applied to them, the difference between a card with shadow and the difference between a card without shadow isn't as high as if a left back or a right back. Like an Ake will only be about 1.5k more with a shadow than he is without a shadow. But if we look at someone like Reece James, he'll still be 3-4k because centre backs are basically the most saturated position with shadow. So again, what we do is we go gold rare, we go shadow. We go gold rare, we go right back, we put shadow in, we go 20k by now. And what we do is we go and scroll to the 59th minute. And what we're looking for is we're looking for gold cards who are only 1k more with a shadow than they are without a shadow. Now, things I will say as well is bidding. I always thought bidding could have been pretty decent. I tried a bit of shadow bidding and it is horribly competitive. Now, one of the reasons I think bidding is a lot more competitive this year is because of how bad these menus are. And because of how bad these menus are, which actually we will be telling you a little cheat, a little setting that makes your menus faster. People are doing a lot of bidding because they're like, I can't be asked for sniping in this market, which is fair. So what we're doing here is we're just scrolling to the 59th minute and we're looking for a gold card who's only 1k more with a shadow than they are without a shadow. So let's go and see how much Trent is right now. So we found Trent. Trent without a shadow is 8.6k. See, do you know what? That's not that far. If this was only 9.6k, it'd be a good buy. So let's say that Trent pops up there for 9.6k and we went and bought him because it was only 1k more than he is without a shadow. Once I bought him, I'm then going to go have a little look on the market. What is Trent with a right back, with a shadow? Looks a little bit saturated, but still would have been money if we bought him at 9.6. Let's have a little look. So Trent with a shadow, right back. What have we got? We probably would only go and list him for 10,750. Yeah, I mean, if I was going to list him at 10,750, he would sell on, I'd say, probably within an hour or two. Yeah. So with this method, you don't necessarily go and list up the players for the cheapest on the market. The reason you don't necessarily go and list up these cards for the cheapest on the market is because if you just wait and sell them on lazy buys, either what will happen is all of these cards will eventually get bought and then yours will be the cheapest, or what would happen is someone will just buy yours on lazy buys because they can't be asked searching the cheapest on the market. Now sadly, Trent wasn't a great example because you generally would have only made, I think you only would have made like 700-800 coins on that card. Ideally, you will make like 2k plus on these cards. So what you would do after you've gone right back shadow and you've got your Trent, you're then going to go left back shadow, buy now 20k, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go and search it. You're going to go and scroll to the 59th minute and you're going to go and see if there are any good deals. So let's have a little look. Get to that 59th minute. Is there going to be any good deals? We've got Gavardio, we've got Robinson, DeMarco, Catley, we've got McCabe. Did flip McCabe yesterday. Do you know what? Probably nothing too amazing there. So now what we're going to do is going to go next position, CDM. Shadow. Search in now. Do be aware that CDM's in centre mid. Sadly, because of the 2 back-to-back centre mid evos we've had in the last few days, the demand or the price difference between these guys with a shadow and without a shadow has also gone down. Because of course, if people are replacing gold cards with evos in their teams, there's a lot more people listing cards. And if there's a lot more people listing cards, then the profit margins are going to be lower. Again, sadly, probably nothing right there. So now we're going to go to the next one. We're going to go rare gold centre mid. We're going to go shadow. And you've got to be patient with this market. Again, it's still pretty early days regarding making coins. So if you can make coins, whatever coins you make, you can buy more with because the market's still investing. It's still rising. Also, I'm doing this method at 7 o'clock in the morning where the market is definitely a lot quieter. Milinkovic Savic, I think my flips at 7.5k yesterday. Modric we flipped at 14k. Vitinho we flipped at 8.6k. Yeah, I mean, they're probably right there isn't anything I'd be too fond of. But again, all you got to do is once you're done with centre mid, you're then going to go back to right back, you're then going to go to left back, to CDM, centre mid, alternate between those four, and look for gold cards who are only 1k more than they are without a shadow. Regarding what you can sell them for as well, if you do head over to the guide, I do have a list of what everything in the last 24 hours and the last 48 hours has sold with a shadow. So on here is what they sold for 24 to 48 hours ago, and here is what they sold for in the last 24 hours, which again will be updated every single day, and the guide is free till the 1st of October. Now, I was saying a second ago that the menus are quite laggy, so but there is a setting you can enable or disable even to go and make them less laggy. And what you want to do is you want to head out of Ultimate Team. There we go. You then want to go and head over to settings. So you want to go and slide left. So you've got the main settings here. I'm going to go and press left, and it's going to go all the way there to the left. You're then going to click on settings. You're then going to go and click on settings again. You're then going to click on game settings. Then what you're going to do is you're going to be on the gameplay bit. You're then going to scroll all the way down here to reaction time modifier. And what you're going to do is you're going to go and turn this off. Now this is interesting because in game basically what this does is it delays the player switching, but what people have found is it also seems to delay the web app. So yeah, I say basically what it does in game is the idea is if a ball was passed and you pressed RB, because the ball's already moving, if it was to actually switch to the closest player, the player's irrelevant. So what the game did is it like preempts or delays the player switching. Well, again, what that seems to have done is it's also delayed stuff on the web app. Delayed stuff on the menus. And people have found as of disabling that setting that it's become a lot more efficient. Yeah, EA Sports is in the game. Now we've got Team of the Week. We've got quite a lot of pre-Team of the Week actually. Quite a lot of games did occur yesterday. Obviously it was a Sunday. And yeah, let's go through some of the players who are favoured to get a Team of the Week. Now, earlier when I was streaming, Lewandowski went and got the first 2 goals in the 5-1 win for Barcelona over Villarreal. But he went and missed a penalty. And if I go and head over here, sorry. And because he missed a penalty, that kind of like is minus points as it goes. And later in the game, Rafinha got 2 goals. So, in my opinion, now also Pau Torres did go and get himself a assist and a goal as well. But I would personally have Rafinha getting 2 goals over Pau Torres getting a goal and assist. And I'd say Rafinha's 2 goals, with him not missing a penalty, is probably more favourable than Lewandowski's 2 goals and him missing a penalty. Now the nice thing about Rafinha anyway is Rafinha should be rising every day because the Liga special cards are really good the Liga gold cards are really good investments. Pau Torres obviously wouldn't be because he's so cheap. Lewandowski isn't very demanded, so he wouldn't be. So I do like the likes of Rafinha as an investment for him to likely be getting a Team of the Week. The only problem I do have with Rafinha is it seems that his price range is 70k. It says that his price range is 70k on foot.gg. And again, let's have a little look. Sometimes they are a little bit off. Yeah, no, his price range is 70k, and that's kind of the problem is you can invest in him, he can go out of packs, he could in theory go up, but you can't make any coins till he's had a price range update. So the second player we're going to go through is going to be Miller. Miller got himself a hat-trick of assists. This guy should be okay for like generic SBCs. French cams are quite useful for starter SBCs. And obviously he is French out of the Liga. So if you're wondering, why would anyone want to buy this guy when he's out of packs? Basically he's just good for advanced SBCs. So picking him up it would be good. Regarding what prices to go and buy them, they are all on the guide right here. Next player we're going to go and talk about is Gyökeres. Gyökeres last night went and picked himself up 2 goals. And therefore, again, we do recommend picking him up. Now, because Gyökeres is so hard to link up, if Gyökeres does get a Team of the Week, I do actually think Informed Trincao would rise. If Gyökeres doesn't get a Team of the Week, I don't think people are buying Trincao for his gold card. But again, I can see people buying Informed Trincao to link up with Gyökeres' gold card. We don't normally do link investments to Team of the Weeks because they're not really that demanded. But when you're someone like Gyökeres who has such little links, even a little bit of demand for his informed card should drive the demand in the for Trincao. It'll also probably drive the demand for Larson or anyone who just strong links him because, again, his basically will go from being a 18k demanded gold card to probably like a 150k Team of the Week. Because of the different demographics, all of a sudden now Gyökeres is a top card, which means a fair few more of the top cards that link to him should go and rise. So any heroes and icons from either Sweden or the Liga NOS should also rise nicely if Gyökeres goes and gets a Team of the Week. But yeah, then we got Trincao as a link investment, who's not too bad because he is literally discard. Then got Bussy. Now, women getting team of the week so is a lot harder. EA see all the women leagues as minor leagues. Therefore, you can get like hat tricks and EA don't care. But Bussy got herself 2 assists and a goal. And again, really good for generic SBCs, high-rated non-rares. High-rated non-rares are very rare cards in the game. Because they're very rare cards in the game, they do very well when needed for SBCs. And again, with her being French, she'd be very good for SBCs. And I believe, is that our last one? Well, yeah, our last one is Ajibade. Now, less chance of her getting one. She only got a brace, but a brace is pretty good as it comes with women's football. But yeah, obviously playing for one of the top women's teams as well, which would push her. It should be quite a well-demanded card. I mean, she is definitely down in the last 24 hours, but I definitely can see her rising in the pre-hype. Now, regarding selling these cards, if these cards are selling on very, very nicely before they go out packs on Wednesday, so we're saying like Tuesday evening or Wednesday morning, do go and sell them. You know, maybe if you're doubling your coins, tripling your coins, go and sell them. Or let's say at Jabeda, you bought her at 4, she's up to like 6, 7k, I'd go and sell her in the pre-hype. Gokarez, let's say you bought at 17, he's up to like low 20s, I'd sell him in the pre-hype. Because sometimes cards are more in the pre-hype than they are when they actually come out. But I say, we kind of got to be in the moment to know how much they are up there in the pre-hype. Now, to wrap it up, we've got ourselves some leaks, and yeah, it seems like it's leaked that Turan is going to go and get himself a Serie A POTM, which is funny because I'm pretty sure EA literally said we're not going to get a Prem and not going to get a Serie A, and they're the only 2 that we're getting. But yeah, not a bad looking card. 89 pace, 84 shooting, 85 dribbling, presumably like 81, 82 physical. I do think this card will be very, very well demanded, with him playing obviously for Milan and him being French. Regarding link investments, you're not going to go and link invested into plebs. I guess Hernandez also isn't in packs. If you did want to go and buy some link investments, and again, these cards should be rising anyway because they're expensive cards anyway. Mianganong wouldn't be too bad right here. Again, if we go and look in the last 3 days, he is kind of holding the same price, but of course with an increase in demand of a strong link to Turan, should be good. Next player you got is Barella. Problem with Barella is his max price range is 60k, and at the moment he is coming in at about 52k. But again, will probably be the best link to him other than Theo Hernandez. And the last link would be the likes of Bastoni. And again, you know, he's a progressive anyway, so you know, it would just push up the demand even more. I wouldn't recommend buying cheap cards like DeMarco, Calogru, Varane, and so on and so on, because of course these guys are being supplied a lot more than the expensive cards. And I think again that is going to go and wrap it up. As I say, today's stream will be between 9 through to about 6:15. Again, any questions you guys do have, do go and jump over to the stream, and I'm more happy to answer them regarding selling, buying, or anything in between. Thank you very much for watching today's video. I shall see you guys tomorrow with a brand new video.